Hey guys. Okay, so sorry I can't be there today, but take out your green review books, pause if you have to, and open up to page 5. It's going to look like this. Unit 3 polynomials. Alright guys, so first thing you're going to do, this should be page 5 in your book, you want to fill in all of these notes. So pause it and fill in the notes. You should be able to see everything. So what I can do is, just kind of leave it here for a little bit. Make sure you fill in everything, including the end behavior down here. Alright, so fill in all the notes. Do that first. When you're done with that, we're going to flip it over. Pause it now. Do what you got to do. And then we'll go to the other side. So once again, I believe this is page 5. Alright guys, so now that you have copied everything, we're going to go to page 6. So here's page 6. If you look here, the first thing it says dimensions of this rectangular prism are given algebraically. What is the approximate width that will maximize the volume? Remember, all of these problems here, you guys, are off of old exams. So you want to make sure you know how to do this, not just when I'm walking you through it, but, on your own, okay? So, first of all, the key words here are maximize the volume, all right? So you need to find volume first. Now, volume's easy. It's just length times width times height. That's it. So all three of these will be multiplied together. Now, I don't like W's. I like X's, so I'm going to change them all to X. So I'm going to have, 3 minus X times X times, that will be X plus 2. Okay, you don't need to actually multiply this out, all right? We're just talking about maximizing the volume. This would be how you would find volume, length times width times height. So go to your lovely calculators, here it is, and we want to maximize it. So hit y equals, y equals is our friend, and we're going to put this in just like I have it here, parentheses and all, just like so, and bloop, 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 bloop. All right, we want to graphics. We want to maximize. The top of the hill is maximized. So I'm going to hit zoom 6 just to see what it looks like. 6. All right, let's see here if we can see anything. It's taking its time as usual. Taking its time. Here we go. All right, so you should notice that there is a minimum right there. That's a minimum. So it's on the bottom. That right there is your maximum. I want to know that maximum. That's what I want to know, the maximum up there. There's 2 ways to do that, okay? One is you can just hit trace, okay? Just hit trace and get that blinker up to the top there as best as you can. And that kind of gives you a good idea, 1.8 around there. If you look at your answer choices, you have 1 3/4. That's the closest you're going to get. Now, if you're one of those people like me, you want something exact, you want it perfect, you're going to go to second trace. And remember, see, we are maximizing. So you're going to use maximum, number 4. And you should remember how to do this a little bit from last year, but left bound means to the left. So there's my maximum. That's to the left. I hit enter. Then it says right bound. I get it to the right. See, there's my maximum to the right. Hit enter. Hit enter one last time. And it's working. See, 1.78, which is about 1 3/4. That one's done. All right, this one here. Which binomial is a factor? Remember, factor. Factor means when I plug this in, so when I plug in, my remainder is 0. 0. Okay, so that's what that means. Remember though, when you plug in, you're plugging in the opposite. So even though this says x minus 3, I'm going to plug a 3 in for each x value, positive 3. So go to your calculator and plug in that positive 3. So it's x cubed, so I'm going to do 3 to the 3rd power minus x squared, so minus 3 squared plus 3 times x, so 3 times 3, and then minus 3. When I hit enter, I get 24. That is definitely not a factor, okay? In order for it to be a factor, when you plug it in, it better equal 0. Okay, so for this guy, I'm going to plug in negative 1. Remember, you do opposite. So everywhere that I see an x here, I plug in negative 1. That'll be negative 1 cubed minus, and that'll be negative 1 squared, plus 3 times negative 1 and minus 3. Hit enter. Nope, that's not a 0. No good. Now, take a look at this. This is x squared minus 1. The squared means it includes negative 1 and positive 1. So guess what? Didn't work because that one didn't work. And you can just double check this if you want to see if negative 3 is an answer, and you'll see that it works. So, boo, 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 boo. Good to go. Okay, next one. Remember, once again, you're talking about remainders. Remainders, once you plug it in, that's what the remainder equals. So, when I plug in here, negative 1, my remainder is negative 8. Now, it tells you that so that you can get K. This is a two-parter, all right? You first want to get K, then after you get K, you want to plug in to get that final remainder. So, here I have x cubed minus 2x squared plus 13x plus k. All right, when I plug in negative 1, I better get negative 8 as an answer. So I'm going to plug in negative 1 here in for each one of these, like so. Now I don't know what k is, so I'm going to leave it k, and that better equal negative 8. This is an equation, people. You can solve this equation, okay? So negative 1 cubed, put it in the calculator if you need to. It will be negative 1. The next one is, minus 2 times negative 1 squared. Well, 2 times negative 1 squared, if you're not sure what it is, pop that into the calculator just like so. It's 2, so it's going to be minus 2. Plus 13 times negative 1 is negative 13. Plus k equals negative 8. Now, all of these over here are on the same side. See, these are all on the same side, which means combine like terms. So I do negative 1 minus 2 plus negative 13, negative 16. So negative 16 plus k equals negative 8. Add 16 to both sides, so k is 8. Great, that's k. That is not your answer. Notice that 8 is a choice, okay? But that's just the k value. The whole point of getting k is so that you can then answer the actual question. So let's look at the actual question. What is the remainder when I'm dividing by x minus 1? That means when I plug 1 in for x, what is my remainder? That's what you're asking for. And you needed to know k in order to do that. So once again, you have x cubed minus 2x squared plus 13x. You just got k. Instead of putting plus k, I'm going to put plus 8. Okay? The whole point of that is, you used this information here to get k. Now you have a nice perfect polynomial. You can plug that 1 in. So that's what we're going to do. In place of x, I plug in 1 now, because that's x minus 1, so remember it's the opposite. Okay, put all this in your lovely calculator, just like you see it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Parentheses, 1 raised to the 3rd power minus 2 times 1 to the 2nd power plus 13 times 1 plus 8. Hit enter, and I got 20. There it is. Done. Okay, next one. It says the volume of a rectangular prism is represented by this expression. If the length is x minus 6 and the height and width are equal, what is the width of the prism? Okay, so once again, this is division. You have a piece, and you also have this volume. So I'm going to divide by 6. So I have 6 here, just like so. And I use these numbers in front. This is a 1x cubed. That's a negative 2x squared. That's a negative 20x. And that's a negative 24. Now remember how to do synthetic division. The first guy comes down. Okay, so I bring him down. This is that multiply add. Multiply add, where I look like an idiot in the front of the room. That's what we're doing here. Okay, so 6 times 1 is 6. Add straight down, gives me 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Add straight down, gives me 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Add straight down, gives me 0. Now, the whole point of this is you know that x minus 6 should have given you 0. Okay, you know this. This is what you're left with. And I want to know, the height and width are equal. So what I'm left with is x squared plus 4x plus 4. And I want to know what the height and width are. They should be the same thing. So when you factor this, your number should be the same. You know, what multiplies to give you 4? Adds to give you 4. It's going to be 2 and 2. X plus 2 and x plus 2. So if you look here, you know, they gave you the length as x minus 6. The height and width are the same, so the height and width are both x plus 2. So there's your answer, A. All right, that's Unit 3. Okay? Let's go on to Unit 4. So Unit 4 is the next page. Here's what it looks like. Once again, what you're going to want to do is pause the video and actually copy these notes. Okay, I know it's a lot of notes, so pause the video, copy the notes. Okay, and what I'm going to do is probably take a picture of it too so that you guys can kind of see what's going on. Okay, so pause the video, copy the notes. Next, let's go to the back. Alright guys, so this is actually division sign. I know it's hard to see. I even thought it was adding, so we had to like do it over and do a whole clippy thing, you know, all that good stuff. But you this is division. So when you flip over, look at divide. It says keep it, change it, flip it. So keep the first guy the same. X plus 7 over x squared plus 4x minus 21. Alright, change that to multiply and flip the second guy. So flip this around like so. Okay, then step 2, follow multiply steps. Factor everything. Everything gets factored. So x plus 7 stays the same. On the bottom, what multiplies to give you negative 21, adds to give you 4. It's going to be 7 and negative 3. All right, right here, what multiplies to give you 15, adds to give you 8. It's 3 and 5. And then that guy cannot be factored. And multiply is easy. I mean, once you factor it, you just go cross off happy. You know, the x plus 5 cross off, the x plus 7 cross off. These two not cross off. They're different. That's an x plus 3, that's an x minus 3. So you have x plus 3 on top, x minus 3 on the bottom. A is your answer. Okay, next one, right here. Vertical asymptotes. Now, you can just graph this, really, if you want, and it'll work out just fine. So let me graph this. Vertical asymptotes just means, you know, what does it not touch? Okay, that's what it really means. So this is a rational function, so I'm going to get it put in here correctly. That's 4x squared minus 100. On the bottom, it is 2x to the third. Oh no, it's 2x squared. Sorry, 2x squared. Plus x minus 15. All right, I'm going to do zoom 6 because I'm looking at the graph. And the point of this is that you want to see where that vertical asymptote is, okay? Kind of where there's a break in the graph is really what you're looking for, people, all right? A break in the graph. So you should see right now it's about to break, see? We have this section here and it broke up to this section. So there's obviously at least one vertical asymptote between this break, and you can see there's a second break right here. So there's 2 vertical asymptotes. 2, all right? There's only 2 of them because there's a break there and a break there. So B and D, gone, because there's only 2. Now, you want to figure out where the first one is. And so the first one's kind of right here. And that x value is negative 3. See? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So, negative 3 needs to be one of them. Oh, there you go. That's the only one that has negative 3. And, you know, if you were to pick this one that says negative 5, look at negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not a break. That's actually part of the graph. Okay? Vertical asymptotes is the actual break there. So, it's C. All right, next one. Right here, you have a company spent $247,000. So, $247,000 better be in there. Okay? So, automatically, bam, gone. And a company spends additionally $125 for each DVD. So you should have 1.25x, which you do. Which function represents the average cost? Now remember what average is. Okay, average is when you have the total amount spent divided by your number of DVDs. Okay, so total amount spent divided by the number of DVDs. Now DVDs is X. See? X. So the total spent would be these two added together over X. C. Alright, last one. This is very last one. What is the solution to this guy? So what you can do is you can solve this by hand if you want, just by cross multiplying. But to be honest, I'm not even going to do that. Because at this point, like, it might not work for me. So I'm going to use the calculator. So let me go to the calculator. Remember how it works. Everything before the equal sign in y1, everything after the equal sign in y2, and the whole zoom 0, all that good stuff. Oopsies. Okay, so we got here, x minus 1. All right, now in y2, I put everything that's after the equal sign. 8x. Oopsies. Hold on. There we go. Plus 1 and 4x plus 5. Good. Now I'm going to hit zoom 0. I always hit zoom 0 when I'm doing an equation because they're so weird. So that's what I do. I hit zoom 0. And it's going to give me a graph here. Now, if you really want to solve this by hand, you can. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But you can see that this graph is going to look a little weird and funky, and it's supposed to, so don't stress out about it too much. Okay. So, this is my first one's in blue, so that's everything before the equal sign in blue, and then in red will be everything after the equal sign. So you'll see that in a minute, hopefully. Yep, there it is. And it's going. There it is. Okay, now I'm going to hit second, trace, intersect. And let's go and get this over here. Looks like it crosses here. Hit enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have x equals 2.8. Now, if you look at your answer choices, A and B are both negative. Okay, so you need to figure out which one's 2.8. If I do 14 divided by 9, I get 1.5 repeating, but if I do 14 divided by 5, I get 2.8. So there it is, D. Now, if you want to do this by hand, that's fine. You just have to cross multiply, all right? So you're doing 2x minus 3 times 4x plus 5 equals, and then 8x plus 1 times x minus 1. And you do need to do FOIL twice, or box method, or whatever you use, all right? If you're using box method, that works. If not, just multiply it out. So I'm just going to FOIL it out here. Like I said, this is just if you really want to do this by hand. That works. But, the calculator is just fine too. Alright, so all I do is kind of multiply everything out. I'm going to combine like terms here. So I'm just kind of rushing through this because I know that a lot of people will just use a calculator. Now, I would subtract 8x squared from both sides, which means it disappears. Alright, so 8x squared actually disappears. So it's not as bad as it looks. I write down what I have left. I'm going to add the 7x here. So I'm going to move the 7x over and add it. So I get 5x minus 15 equals negative 1. I add 15 to this side, so 5x equals 14. And then when I divide by 5, see, boop, good to go. So that's it. For work today, you want to finish up the back of this review book. The entire review book needs to be done, completed, with work shown in order to receive full credit for those 3 formal grades. So you want to finish up the back of that review book. The answers are posted on the front board, people. Alright? And I'm doing these hard ones with you because these ones are off of actual final exams. So I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday. If you have any questions, just make sure you either text me or call me at 704-352-9731. All right, guys, have a good one.